Hello, Benjamin. You were just in chat. How'd you move so quickly into Discord?
You know, that's the wonders of technology. Sometimes you have one thing on one screen and another thing on another screen, and then you manage to keep both in your mind without losing every brain cell.
I wouldn't know. Okay, yeah, we got some big stuff coming up, don't we?
It's election season. It's an off year, so all the elections that are happening get a lot of extra attention, even though nobody's really paying attention to politics historically. But with exciting things like that No Kings rally and the Democratic Party falling apart entirely, there's actually a lot of energy behind these races and a lot of opportunities. It's why Mamdani is ascendant right now, and lucky for us, Mamdani is one of the 5 races in our big 5 initiative extravaganza that PV is going on right now.
You people are right now in your current form, unmolded clay, absolutely useless. Your lives are wretched and you've accomplished nothing with them. However, there is a way out, a way forward, one might say. Everyone, they say, oh my God, I had such a good time canvassing, you know? I felt better afterwards. I made new friends. I didn't feel so doomer because the only way in which I was engaging in politics was hearing bad news day after day and not engaging with the good interpersonal stuff, like meeting people and going face to face and realizing that at the end of the day, when you meet folks and talk politics with them, most people are pretty reasonable. You know, it's a lot of the unreasonable stuff kind of filters through online, but there are still good, decent people, even Republicans, you know, if you can believe it, day to day that can be reasoned with and appealed to and engaged with and so on. So if you're interested in any way, shape, or form in bettering your life in this form, in involving yourself, I highly recommend it. A lot of people, they get involved a bit. They even go on to work for campaigns, real power brokers in the long run. And the Democrat, apparatus right now is thirsty for young talent. You know, for every young incel neo-Nazi working at a local level for state Republicans, we need to back them with at least 2. We need to meet them, you know, tip for tip with at least 2 equally enthusiastic, somewhat less Nazi-esque young lefties in the local Democrats. So that's my pitch. Benjamin, what the hell are we doing with it?
So to add on to the pitch too, we also, Progressive Victory isn't just like an organizing org either. It's also like a political community. It's designed to be a social space every bit as much as it's designed to be an organizing space, because the only way you can organize is with healthy community. And with that healthy community, that's when we get to do cool things. And the first of the cool things is that between now and November 4th, that's election day this year, we have 5 different elections going on. The first one is Mamdani. Now, I'm sure everybody here is going to be like, oh my God, Mamdani, he's going to win. I'm going to phone bank for somebody else, because I've been getting a lot of that. But the truth of the matter is, you still need to phone bank for Mamdani. Just because he has a very good chance of winning doesn't mean it is guaranteed, and there are a lot of things trying to stop him from winning.
Can I add to that real quick? Because this pisses me off. This is one of the
numbers are down too on our side for people phone banking Mamdani. It's stupid.
This is one of the reasons why we can't win. It's because you people only see this as a means to an end. Trump supporters go out there and they get out in the public square and they bend over and they suck their own dicks for Trump while wearing the hat. They do that whether or not Trump's having a good day or a bad day. Sometimes the way you people involve yourselves, you go out there, you're like, well, I'm willing to help if like it'll I need to tip it over from a 51-49 to a 49-51, and if I can do that, that's me helping, but otherwise I don't really care. You need to be fighting and rallying all the time, everywhere, for everyone good. I'm sorry, but that's how you win. That's why the MAGA movement was able to have such a disproportionate impact on American culture, because its advocates aren't out there, you know, timidly waiting for the next moment to make their case. They're not out there looking to flip every 51-49. They're out there all the time. And you need to do that too. If Mamdani's already going to win in an area, make him win by 5 more votes, okay? That attitude is how we take back purple states and make them blue states, or take red states and make them purple states. The idea of it's only worth our time if it's like, oh, it's a marginal case and we need, oh, who cares otherwise? That's how you lose ground. A bunch of people, by the way, thought that like New York, New Jersey, whatever, why bother voting there in 2024? Why bother advocating there? What happened? You guys remember the first hour and a half of the 2024 election where we all watched as the state of New Jersey looked like a purple state? That's complacency, and that's how we got to this point, okay? So none of that bullshit. If you get involved because you love the means, not the ends. You're there to get involved at the ground level, regardless of whether or not you think you get to stand triumphant over some edge case victory.
Yeah, right now, unironically, like lefty volunteers in a lot of ways, they get mobbed by like internet Nazis simply just because they are more earnestly pathetic in how much they single-mindedly think about just wanting to obsess over their cause. And it's not like anyone on our side isn't obsessing on our cause either. They're just, you know, a little bit more effective about it, which is, you know, really sad the more you think about it. But if we just stay focused and just actually try to integrate being useful into our like lives, into our routines in a healthy, sustainable way, you can actually make a shitload of difference. And there's a lot to make a difference on.
Only participating in the races because you're like, well, this is the one that needs to win or whatever. That's like going to the gym and then you start selectively not exercising the muscles once you think they're strong enough. Oh yeah, I'm into the gym life, you know? I'm not working out my right bicep anymore because my left bicep is actually 2 pounds per curl weaker, so I'm gonna focus just on that. But we basically got it cinched for the right bicep. You loser. Do leg day. Anyway, here's the thing.
We've got Mamdani, we've got Katie Wilson, and we have a huge announcement there, but I'm going to save that for last. We have Mikey Sherrill, who is a lib and not a great one, but she's better than a Republican, and that is enough sometimes. We also have Jonas Eppert, who we're phone banking for. He's running for the House of Delegates in Virginia District 74, who is a really good progressive as well. We're also doing the gerrymandering Prop 50 amendment in California. We're doing all of these different phone banks, all of these different campaigns, because right now they need volunteers. A lot of them are right on the margin of whether they can or cannot win. One of those rare cases where you can just do the cynical calculation and make a difference, even though, you know, that's the wrong way to think about it. There's like a real opportunity here and a real moment to actually show that you can get wins by just earnestly believing what you believe and just going out there and being as loud as shit about it.
It's like shonen anime. It's like Luffy from One Piece. You know, you just have to believe.
Yeah, there's 2 socialists and a socialist adjacent SOCDEM on this list. And that SOCDEM is a loudly, aggressively young, media savvy, pro-trans woman in Tennessee. Like, that's the conditions, the environment we're dealing it with. And also an annoying lib who beat our candidate in New Jersey. I'm still salty about that.
Well, you know, we get what we can. Folks, seriously, we're just saying there's a lot on the docket right now. We're coming up on the 4th, okay? It's election season. I mean, it's special elections, you know, it's not the full midterms or presidentials. But if anything, that means you get to focus on the important stuff, okay? You get to, you know, lock in on a couple of key races and get a good outcome. Really hoping Afton Bain goes far. No idea if she's going to win. Odds aren't high, but the better she does, the better a case you can make in the future about running progressive candidates in red districts rather than just, you know, Schumer do-nothings. And, you know, if I may, Benjamin, Katie Wilson, I've heard stuff about this lady.
So we have something really exciting for November 1st at 2 p.m. at an undisclosed location that you will only be able to find out about if you sign up. Vosh and Katie Wilson are going to be doing an event in person together. It's going to be a nice little canvas. Everyone's going to come out. Vosh and Katie Wilson are going to on stream do a quick AMA, maybe take some questions from some of the canvassers, and then we're all going to go canvassing. I'm going to be there, and a couple other people from PV are going to be there. It's going to be really fun. So show up, knock some doors, and make a difference. You know, if you want to complain, you actually have to do something. I learned that the hard way after years of chat telling me I wasn't making a difference. Now I am.
Yeah,
it's your turn.
I'll be going down there to rally the troops and say howdy to Katie. We'll try to get that on a live stream. I think we can probably figure that tech out, even though I don't really have a whole IRL live stream setup. And that will then there will be, you know, canvassing. And will I be canvassing? Well, I'll certainly be around people while they canvass, and I might at a point like approach a door. But you know, I got to be honest, I hate canvassing. If anything, consider your attendance at that event an opportunity to mog me, and you can sort of rub it in my face that I prefer to do my my political engagement through a microphone. One way or another, I'm sure it's going to be a great time. Great opportunity. And I might get a chance to meet, you know, the future mayor of Seattle, which is awfully nice. I mean, in person, I can say howdy, right before the election. Hope that tracks.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun. I know when we've done when we've done these smaller canvassing events, I've never been able to go to them. So I'm excited. I know that people who have been able to go to them are really excited. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity. And there's a lot of doors and a lot of places that still haven't been knocked yet. So this is literally 3 days before the election, our last chance to try and get a socialist mayor elected in one of the bigger cities. Like, we get Mamdani in the East Coast, Katie Wilson in the West Coast. If that doesn't send the message to the establishment, I don't know what will.
And you get good narratives out of that too, coast to coast. They can build like rail lines that meet in the middle. They can touch tips right in Kansas.
That's
you
true.
can get like a beautiful. I mean, it's at that point basically we've got the chuds surrounded, folks. If we get our people installed in Seattle and New York, there's nowhere they can hide.
That's true. And I'm being told right now, because even me, who is allegedly Vosh's handler, I have my own handlers. I'm being told that I need to mention that everyone needs to show up, because the way Scale to Win works, if you have every new person, increases the way the auto dialer works. So if you have only 4 people, you're waiting a longer time between each phone bank call. And if you have like 5 or 6 people, it can speed it up. And the more people you have, the higher volume of calls for everyone at the phone bank. So even one person there makes a difference. I was told to say this.
Yeah, it's a big like combo buff. I've seen this in my video games. Really though, I am excited. Mildly nervous. Really, IRL interview again, whole different skill set. I'm going to have to watch. I'll be watching recordings of my favorite confident and socially attained interviewer who does IRL interviews, to practice beforehand. They'll get my knocks in. Adam Friedland. And I'll just try to channel that energy when speaking to her. And I think I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You're professional. Not sure about what, but you're professional.
Oh, yeah.
We also have our 2026 races that we just announced earlier today that we are officially endorsing Kat Abu Ghazalia. We're also have endorsed Graham Plattner. We're also endorsed a city council person who's actually a PV mayor. They're running in Montgomery County in Maryland, josieformaryland.com. We also have Operation DNC, which is our plan to start slowly replacing all of the, and I just found out the number, 90,000 elected bureaucrats at the bottom level of the Democratic Party. So we definitely need all of the numbers we can get.
That money was going somewhere.
Well, I'd be shocked if it was going there specifically, but...
Yeah, I guess in retrospect, these people are probably in it entirely for the pussy. No, it's a lot of gunk to dislodge, for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of them aren't just replaceable, they're also convincible, too. And it's why even running races that you're going to lose or have a good chance of losing, it's why showing up all the time matters, because what convinces the earnest people who just kind of got like told, hey, you should do this by like a friend or a family member, and then they just kind of do it, which is a shocking amount of the cases, they just take their cues from CNN. They genuinely don't know any better. It is very, very low level party officials. So just seeing the energy of having like 10 people show up with a narrative that's consistent, that's enough to change minds sometimes, as crazy as it sounds.
It's really difficult to dislodge the ingrained cynicism that a lot of people have, and the potential for these local and sometimes non-successful actions to really take root in the long run. But at the end of the day, like, the entire modern Republican Party is more or less built off of the engagement and like astroturf, but still like genuinely a lot of effort put in, efforts of the Tea Party, and that came about in the Republicans during the Obama administration. You see all these points in history where, like, especially at a local level, why is this town like this? Well, there was a group of like 5 people who fought like crazy for it, and then it just turned out that way, and now it's legacy, and now it's really, really difficult to undo. I was driving up in the mountains the other day, and I stumbled across a town called Concrete. Beautiful little town, and I mean little. I stopped in an ice cream store while I was on my way there, had some of the booziest pecan ice cream I've ever had in my life. Very, very tasty. They had it with an affogato. I saw at the entry to the place, they were holding a public forum where you could hear all the local politicians pitch their case before the upcoming elections. And I mean local, we're talking like city councilmen. The sign along with the forum, you know what they were put on by? They were put on by the, I think I got this right, Skagit County Women's Voters League. This is a county that's got maybe a couple thousand people in it. Like, this is a tiny community, But some group of people, ladies, I'm going to assume, who knows these days, Skagit, I don't know, but they went together. They made a goddamn women's voter league. Who the knows when they made that? I haven't Googled it. It's pretty cool, right? The idea of in a community that small, people still engaging in civil society to that extent. And now they're hosting like candidate forums. I think it's nice. And you can get involved at the ground level just about anywhere as long as you're dedicated.
It's really why I think in the long run, we might not be in our lifetimes, but we're going to win, because there's like this ingrained human need to build community. And the minute you have a healthy community, it's kind of the end of fascism right then and there. And in a lot of ways, democracy and socialism and a lot of these political philosophies that become very abstract, a lot of them at their core are just the philosophization of just being nice to people and just organizing relationships in a way that's more fair. And the fact that that's like in a human trait that's just built in, that arises everywhere, just out of nowhere, just from the base like background noise of humanity, it's why we're going to win. It's because you have to actively suppress something that's not suppressible.
Gay, but I agree.
Defeated.
Thank you, Benjamin.
There is one other thing I wanted to bring up, and it's going straight from hope to like trying to be, good, and now I'm going to go the other side and ask for money like a normal political official.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. I got mine.
Yeah. So Progressive Victory, we have our dues paying membership. It's about as little as $5 a month. You can get your membership card. They just started shipping. I've shipped out 150 cards today. We really need the money. We need paid staff so badly. It is an all volunteer org. What that most often means is that there are a couple people who are just pulling like crazy hours to make it so that the org can work. And those people burn out very quickly. It's really hard to deal with. So we need staff. We need resources to be able to get all of our state leads PV emails, so that way we can actually hook them into some of our infrastructure in a way that's more sustainable. And we need to build out tools that have literally never been built before, like enterprise level tools to be able to just manage volunteers on a digital platform in a way that isn't literally dog shit. So please, if you would be so kind, we make $9,000 a month right now just from our community, just from average volunteers. We need another $14,000 a month to be able to bring on 2 people to be employees, the first 2 employees of PV. So if you'd be so willing, progress.win/member, and you can get your really cool membership card.
I'll second that. They run real lean as an organization, but everything thinks money. If you're at any way involved in PV, you're like you phone banked a little bit, you canvas or whatever, just kick them some. Even if you're not, it's they need the donations, and they'll make better use of it more than I will. Also, you get a cool card out of it. They sent me a cool card. Look at this. Now they definitely sent me this in part so I could show you this as part of the pitch. But ain't that super super cute? Come on, that's pretty cute. You like it. I've had it here. I've had it here on my desk for a bit. The next time I talk to a PV person, I'll show it off. He finally paid. No, it says honorary member because I still keep forgetting to pay myself. I'd say
yeah, we had to draw the line somewhere. We needed to send the card.
I think honestly at this point, even if I do actually remember to kick in, it should still just say honorary member. I'm okay with that, and it does make me feel honored.
It is an honor. I've had a lot of opportunity to work with a lot of streamers over the last year, and plenty of people know my history with like TYT. So I've said this to you, but I say this all the time. There are just some people who are really, really good to work with, who clearly believe everything that they say. And I'm always just really grateful for the opportunity to work with you and just be a part of your audience, because, it does kind of feel like my people.
I appreciate that. Also, to a large extent, they are. You were in my chat before you work with PV, after all.
Yeah.
I feel likewise, and I'm happy to hear that the org is settling people with good opportunities.
Yeah.
Now ban him. Didn't I ban him for a month? What did I ban him for?
One for talking about circumcision, and once just for being annoying. I think those are the reasons.
That's those are battle scars, son. I appreciate you coming on, really, and I look forward to around on the 1st.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, and thank you again.
Thank you.
He's come a long way, hasn't he, folks? Really, it is very nice. Go PV. Yeah, they do really good work. They really do. And they run so lean too. People are like, oh, I don't have the money. You've ordered DoorDash sometime in the past 6 months. You can do it. I only order DoorDash when I'm sick. That's when you gotta bust out the soup cans. Soup cans. Really though, it is pretty cute, ain't it? Look, it came with a little card holder. Do 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 do. I think it's delightful. Okay, it's sincere. It's sincere. I don't do any goddamn advertisements on the stream. You haven't heard me talking about Blue Apron or whatever. So I feel like I've earned some degree of charity for my perceived sincerity when I talk about stuff that I care about. It's not like they're paying my ass. They're giving you merch for free though. Well, I guess that's a given. Yeah, I've got a thermos or a jug. I don't think it's a thermos. It's like a bottle. Really, though, I'll be talking more about the PV business, especially because on the 1st, I'm going to be talking to Katie Wilson, so you're going to see that shit on stream, Looking forward to that. No avoiding the PV integration there.